There are few experiences as deeply transformative and confusing as the twin flame journey. It's not just about love, it's about awakening. It's about the meeting of two souls that share the same divine frequency, two parts of one consciousness drawn together to grow, heal, and evolve. But as beautiful as it is, this connection is also deeply confronting. It shakes you open, mirrors your wounds, and forces you to see yourself through the eyes of another. It's a bond that tests patience, humility, and surrender. One of the most challenging phases of this journey is when the runner pulls away. It feels unnatural, like a heart tearing itself in two. You might find yourself wanting to explain, to fix, to make them understand the connection as you do. You may want to tell them everything your soul knows, that they're your mirror, your other half, your destiny. But this is where many chasers make a crucial mistake. What you say during separation has the power to either draw your twin flame closer or push them even further away. The runner doesn't leave because they don't care. They leave because the connection is overwhelming, too intense for the ego to handle. Their flight is not rejection, but resistance to awakening. When they run, they're not running from you. They're running from the parts of themselves they're not ready to face. And in that space of running, words can become weapons. Certain things, no matter how true they feel to you, can trigger deeper fear and cause more distance. So today, we're going to uncover 7 things you should never tell a twin flame runner. Not because they're wrong, but because the runner cannot yet receive them from a place of awareness. Understanding these 7 things will help you communicate from your higher self, stay in your power, and create an environment that allows your twin to heal and eventually return, not through pressure, but through energetic alignment. Number 1, you're my twin flame. At first, it feels natural to say this. You want them to know the truth you've discovered. You want them to understand that your connection isn't ordinary. It's spiritual, rare, and destined. But telling a runner that they're your twin flame often has the opposite effect. For a person who's not spiritually awakened or ready to face the depth of the connection, those words can sound suffocating. Instead of inspiring them, it can trigger fear. When someone runs, it's usually because their ego is in control. The ego doesn't want to dissolve into oneness. It wants to stay separate, safe, and in control. By labeling them as your twin flame, you unintentionally confront that ego head-on. They might perceive it as pressure, as if you're asking them to take on a spiritual responsibility they never signed up for. It's not that they don't feel something special. They do. But they don't yet have the framework to understand it. So rather than feeling seen, they feel trapped. What's more powerful is silence. Let the energy speak for itself. Allow the connection to unfold naturally without labeling it. When you no longer need to convince them, you shift from desperation to surrender. You communicate from your higher self rather than your wounded self. Over time, they will begin to feel the pull on their own. And when they do, they'll seek to understand it, not because you told them, but because their soul is ready to remember. In moments when you feel the urge to tell them, pause and breathe. Redirect that energy inward. Ask yourself what part of you needs them to acknowledge the connection right now. Usually, it's the part that fears losing control. But remember, the twin flame journey is about trust, not force. You don't need to explain the bond to make it real. It already is. Number 2, you're hurting me. This statement often comes from a place of deep pain and longing. You want them to know how their distance, silence, or rejection affects you. It's human to express hurt. But with a twin flame runner, this type of statement can backfire. They already feel immense internal conflict. They sense your pain energetically, even when you don't speak it. But hearing it directly can make them feel guilty, pressured, or responsible for your emotional state. And because runners are often emotionally overwhelmed already, guilt only fuels their desire to retreat. The truth is, they're not capable of carrying both their own fear and your emotional weight at the same time. When you tell them they're hurting you, you unintentionally reinforce the dynamic of emotional dependence. The connection shifts from soul to ego, from love to control. The more you try to make them understand your pain, the further they withdraw, not because they don't care, but because they feel powerless to fix it. Instead, turn inward. Feel your emotions fully, but don't project them outward. Sit with your pain and allow it to reveal your hidden wounds: the fear of abandonment, the desire for validation, the belief that love must be mutual to be real. This is the alchemy of the twin flame path, using pain as a teacher. When you stop seeking emotional acknowledgement from the runner and begin giving that acknowledgement to yourself, your vibration changes. You become the source of your own comfort. And energetically, your twin feels that shift. They start to sense safety rather than guilt. When they no longer feel like the cause of your suffering, they will feel freer to return, not out of obligation, but out of love. So instead of saying, "You're hurting me," say nothing. Let your healing do the speaking. The silence of self-love speaks louder than words ever could. Number 3, why can't you just admit how you feel? This question often arises when your heart is tired of waiting. You can feel the love. It's there in their eyes, in their energy, in every unspoken moment between you. And yet, they deny it, avoid it, or act like it never existed. It's confusing and painful, and you crave clarity, but pressing them to confess their feelings often pushes them further away. A runner's emotional walls aren't built overnight. They come from years of conditioning, fear, and unhealed trauma. To admit how they feel would mean confronting everything that stands between them and that love: their fears of intimacy, rejection, and loss of control. When you ask them to just admit it, you're asking them to do something their nervous system isn't yet ready for. And so they retreat deeper into denial. The twin flame path is a journey of divine timing. Love isn't revealed when we demand it. It's revealed when both souls are ready to receive it. Instead of asking them to admit their feelings, allow them the space to experience those feelings on their own terms. Don't try to pull confessions from them. Let the connection breathe. Your calm energy will do what words cannot. The more you release the need for verbal validation, the stronger your energetic bond becomes. Focus instead on emotional detachment. This doesn't mean indifference. It means loving without clinging, trusting without forcing. Let your peace become your magnet. The moment you no longer need them to validate the connection, you reclaim your power. And when the runner finally feels that your love isn't a trap but a sanctuary, they'll begin to open up on their own. Not because you demanded it, but because they finally feel safe to do so. Number 4, you're a coward for running. It's understandable to feel anger when someone you love deeply runs away. The connection is sacred, and you know it could heal both of you if only they stayed. But calling a runner a coward, whether directly or indirectly, creates emotional resistance. It appeals to their ego rather than their soul. You may feel momentary satisfaction from expressing your frustration, but it often builds a wall that's harder to break later. The runner isn't a coward. They're overwhelmed. Their soul recognizes the intensity of the connection, but their ego isn't ready to dissolve into it. To the unawakened twin, the connection feels like losing control, identity, and stability all at once. What looks like fear of love is often fear of self. They run not because they don't care, but because facing the mirror you hold up to them is terrifying. Instead of calling them out, see their running as part of their soul's path. Everyone awakens in their own time. What you can do is embody strength through compassion. You don't need to shrink your truth, but you also don't need to attack theirs. Stand in your light, live your truth, and love them from a distance that honors both of your growth. Silence and grace are more powerful than anger. By choosing understanding over blame, you release yourself from bitterness. And energetically, you send your runner the frequency of unconditional love, the same frequency that will eventually call them home. Remember, love that judges can't heal. Only love that understands can. When you stop labeling their fear as weakness and start seeing it as part of their journey, you move from frustration to freedom. Number 5, you'll regret losing me. This is one of the most common emotional reactions during separation. You might say it in anger or pain, hoping it will make them realize your worth. But this statement comes from the ego, the part that seeks validation through the other's recognition. It carries a vibration of fear, not love. And fear never draws a twin flame closer. When you tell a runner they'll regret losing you, you create a power struggle. You try to remind them of what they're walking away from, but in truth, they already know your worth. Deep down, they feel your love more than they can explain. But right now, their soul needs space to evolve. Trying to make them feel regret only binds you both in lower energy. Instead, shift the energy inward. Don't wait for them to regret losing you. Focus on not losing yourself. Rebuild your confidence, nurture your passions, rediscover joy in your own company. The more fulfilled you become on your own, the more magnetic your energy becomes. Your runner will feel that vibrational change. They'll see that your light doesn't depend on their presence, and that realization awakens something within them. In the twin flame journey, separation isn't punishment, it's preparation. The more you grow in their absence, the more you align for union. So instead of threatening them with regret, silently remind yourself, they can't truly lose me and I can't truly lose them. We're connected beyond words. Let your healing be the message. Let your peace be the proof. Number 6, I'll wait for you forever. This statement may sound romantic, but in truth, it carries an energy of stagnation. It tells the universe that your happiness depends on someone else's timeline. It places your life on pause for a future that may take years to manifest. And while twin flame connections are eternal, your purpose in this lifetime isn't to wait, it's to evolve. Telling your runner that you'll wait forever removes the spiritual pressure they need to face their own growth. It enables avoidance instead of awakening. They may subconsciously feel that you'll always be there, no matter how long they run, and that can delay their journey back to you. True love doesn't demand waiting. It inspires becoming. Instead, focus on your own path. You don't have to close your heart, but you also don't have to stop living. Let love flow without attachment. Keep your heart open, but your feet moving. Every experience you embrace while apart deepens your wisdom and expands your soul. That's what magnetizes reunion. Not waiting, but living fully. The irony is that when you stop waiting, your twin begins to feel your absence more deeply. Your energy shifts from dependency to empowerment, and that's when the dynamic changes. They no longer feel your energy chasing, they feel it rising. And that rising energy calls them home faster than any promise ever could. Remember, eternal connection doesn't mean eternal waiting. The twin flame bond transcends time. You can love them and still move forward. You can trust that if they're truly your mirror, every step you take toward your higher self is also a step they'll eventually take toward you. Number 7, I'm done with you. This is perhaps the most tempting statement to make, especially when the pain becomes unbearable. You may feel like giving up, declaring that you're finished with the connection, convincing yourself that you've outgrown it. But often, this declaration comes not from true detachment, but from emotional exhaustion. You want the pain to end, so you try to cut the cord verbally. Yet, the twin flame bond isn't something that dissolves through words. When you say, I'm done with you, what you're really saying is, I can't handle this anymore. It's an emotional defense mechanism, not true closure. The problem is that this statement sends mixed signals to the universe. Your energy says one thing, that you still love and care, while your words say another. That confusion can prolong the separation. Instead of closing your heart in frustration, focus on releasing the attachment with grace. You can lovingly detach without denying the connection. You can say to yourself, I release the outcome. I choose peace over pain. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you stop suffering. It's the act of honoring your soul's peace above your ego's need for control. When you release your twin in love, rather than anger, you set both of you free. The energy between you clears. Space opens for divine timing to work its magic. Often it's only after you've truly let go, not with resentment but with trust, that your twin begins to find their way back. Because the love that was once heavy with need becomes light again. And in that lightness, reunion becomes possible. The twin flame journey is not about controlling outcomes or convincing someone to stay. It's about becoming the highest version of yourself through love, even when love challenges you. Every word you speak, every emotion you express carries energy, and that energy either draws your twin closer or pushes them further away. That's why awareness is everything. When your twin is in the runner phase, the most powerful thing you can do is hold space in silence. Communicate less with words and more with vibration. Focus on your healing, your growth, and your alignment. Let your calmness be the message. The universe always mirrors back the energy you hold. And when that energy is unconditional love rather than fear, everything begins to shift. You are not meant to chase love. You are meant to embody it. The twin flame path teaches this truth again and again, that union is not found through persuasion, but through transformation. Your words have power. Use them to uplift, not to bind. Speak from your soul, not your wounds. And remember, the connection between twin flames is eternal. You can't lose what's meant for you, but you can delay it through fear. So choose love, even when it's silent. Choose faith, even when you can't see progress. And most importantly, choose yourself, because every step you take toward your wholeness brings your twin flame one step closer to theirs.